that felt a lot better too.
Go ahead.
There we go. Alright, you just looked at us firing this HK SL8-6 converted to a G36. It was converted by Tom Bostic using the complete procedure. He welded an original 36 end onto the SL8 receiver. You can see back here he did a very good job. Where you can see it. He also plugged the what they call the window here from the conversion. Again, very impressive what he did. Went ahead and put a bipod on this, but from a standard G36, G36E, I might take it off. It's a quick detach. You just press in and pull out and it comes off. Has your standard folding stock. This is a C length because I am short. I like the C. Standard lower here. Of course, semi-auto. It has a German dual optic. The top is a no magnification red dot, which you can actually slide this open to let ambient light in or run it battery power. Kind of a nice option there. The lower is a, I've read 3 or 3.5 power scope. I'm not sure which it is. Obviously, scopes aren't really my thing, but it's one or the other. You know, slight magnification. To make this a legal Title I firearm, it has about a 13.5-inch barrel, maybe 14, with a permanently attached G36k flash hider, the 4th prong. To keep the proportions right, it has a standard G36E gas system, which is nice and reliable. Allows it to use standard pistons and all that. As you can see, Mr. Bostic remarked it to G36K, which is a nice touch. He also gave it a German date code. Off the top of my head, I'm sorry, I can't remember what it was right now, but whatever the import date was, 99, whatever it was. It has the standard features. Obviously, it takes G36 magazines. There's one in it right now. I love this cocking handle. That's just neat. There's no manual release, so I'll just pop this out. Yeah, see, you can push it in for a fold open, like before, or just that ringing sound you hear is the flash hider. I love that. Yeah, this is a complete conversion of an SL8. Pop the bipod back out if you don't mind. This rifle was adopted in 1997 by the West German Bundeswehr. It replaced the G3, also made by HK and Rheinmetall. At first, in the 80s, even 70s, it looked like the West German military would adopt the G11. It was a caseless rifle, very advanced for its day. It would even be very advanced for today. But when reunification happened, there just was not the money, the funding, to adopt such a radically new rifle. So, This came about. It is cheap, but not in a bad way. It was affordable, lightweight. It's mostly made of plastic, polymer. Easy to produce. Still has a cold hammer forged barrel. All that good stuff. There's something to remember about HK. They're very popular today. But the G3, when it came out, was the less expensive alternative to the G1, which was the FAL. HK is very good at making cost-effective and highly reliable guns. When they designed the G36, which was originally the HK53, they took inspiration from a lot of guns. If you notice, the gun's very conventional in a lot of ways, but it combined the best features of a lot of things. It uses a very similar gas piston system to the AR-18. Also, a bolt carrier that's very similar to the AR-18. Has a very M16-esque layout. Uses HK style G3 push pins. There's two, one here and one here. The folding stock, the hinge and all that is very much copied from the SIG 550 series. Also the magazine, being made of clear polymer, having the couplers on each side to attach additional mags, all that. You know, they kind of looked at other, rifles, saw what worked. When the West German military set out requirements, they wanted something lighter than the G3, something that was easier to fire in full auto. They wanted something that was cheaper to manufacture, and they wanted something that was modular. And this gun is very modular. The dual optics set up here, there's 3 screws that attach it. Unscrew those and then slide it off. The magwell pops out with the push pin back here, and you can make it take AR mags, that kind of thing. The lower trigger assembly, of course this is semi-auto, but you could swap it out for 3-round burst, 2-round burst, whatever you wanted. The buttstock, you could swap out for different lengths or styles. And most impressively, the barrel. This is a K model, 16 inches to be legal for semi, but with only a little bit of pressure, you can use a wrench to swap the barrel out. They made this in 19 inches, well actually 18.9, close enough. It's a standard model. The original K had a 12.5 inch with, not counting the flash hider. With flash hider it was more like 14 and a half. And they also made a C, which had a 9 inch. They even made kind of an intermediate called a CQB that had a 16.25 inch barrel. And the thing is, you just put a wrench down. If you think changing a barrel on an AR is easy, this is even easier. I wouldn't call it quick change, although Sig Sauer might with the new Sig 556 XI. I think they've done things there. But this thing is actually still quite close, and it allows you to change at the unit armor level barrel lengths and thus, capabilities. You can also bolt rails onto each side or the bottom. Obviously this bipod's here. You just press in. I'm not going to do it. It's a little stiff on this particular handguard. But pull out this pin and the bipod comes right off. That's nice. And again, the dual optic. It's kind of a neat. I think it's a neat optic, says me. Today, this is a little bit dated, a little bit limited. But when this was developed in 1994, 20 years ago, it was quite advanced. You have a 3.5 power scope down here, and then you have a 1 power up here. You can either run it on battery or slide this catch open and use ambient light to run the red dot. You also have a little shield here. Now, a lot of people complain that it's like looking through a McDonald's straw. I can't speak to that one way or the other. But I can tell you this. With the right stock on, not an extended stock block, whatever, where your, eye relief is even further back. It seems to work okay from what I've heard from people. So for the intended application 20 years ago, it worked great. This is not a gun that I've wanted for years. I just recently decided it would be interesting to own. And I have to tell you, I'm very impressed. I do own a Sterling-made AR-180, so I was familiar with the gas system. And I've owned a PTR-91 GI, so I do like German stuff. I also have a G1 kit build on a DSA. But this gun fits well in my collection. And I really like how it shoots. It does very well as anything. We had a little bit of trouble out of Tula 55 grain, but other than that, it does great. With Wolf, other, lower end steel cased, it's fine. And to be fair, the Tula 55 grain didn't even work in the Tavor or the AUG A3 very well. So, standards are standards. It's a nice gun. This is an SL8-6 conversion to a G36k by Bostik, and I'm very happy with it. A few years ago, I sold several SL8-6s that when CDN had them on sale, and I always thought it would be a great gun if put back into original configuration. Well, he did it. This gun is great. If the HK 293 comes out in a couple of years, I will check into it, but the way things are going, I don't know if I'll ever make it to market. So I went ahead and picked one of these up when the market was right for them. I'm very happy with it. It's lightweight, reliable, shoots 223, and hey, it's an HK. So I'm pleased. It was a bit of an impulse purchase, but works well for me. It's a fun gun. Alright, we'll move on.